Hi there and welcome to Cows Week 2025. My name's Freddie Carr. I'm a Musto ambassador and I'm super happy to be here at the Musto Crew Bar where it is absolutely buzzing after a windy Sunday. There is plenty of tales of the sea going down in there. Also, right next to the Crew Bar is the Musto Activation Zone where you can go and check out all of their latest kit, which is fantastic kit, obviously. Now, we are here today because we're doing our very first Musto podcast. We've got two legends of British sailing who are here racing at Cows Week. They're involved in the very highest level of British sailing. So we're just going to get their take on Cows Week racing, what they're up to in the sport at the moment, and obviously the kit that they wear. So I told you we had two legends of British sailing joining us in the Musto store here in Cows for Cows Week. Now, just to paint the picture, we're recording on a Sunday night and it is very windy tomorrow on Monday. So in their wisdom, the race organiser has called off the sailing for tomorrow. So there's a lot of happy sailors walking past the shop, and these guys are pretty famous. So they're getting a lot of waves. So if you see them getting distracted throughout the podcast, that's because their mates are walking past with a beer in hand. Actually, what they're doing is looking at all the amazing Musto kit behind us, I'm sure. And yeah, do come into the Cows shop, check it all out. There's some really cool bits of kit in here. Anyway, that's that. We're joined, as I said, by two legends. Elliot Hanson. You all know him for his laser sailing at the highest level in the world. He's got a laser palmares as long as your arm. Olympian, as we know, trying to go to the next Olympics in Los Angeles. He's just come back from a test event in Los Angeles. We'll talk about that, what that racing looks like in let me get it right, 3 years' time. And Dylan Fletcher, obviously Olympian himself, sails, helms, no, drives. We say drives now, don't we? We don't helm boats, we drive boats. So drives the F50 for Emirates GBR, and obviously was with me down in Barcelona for the last America's Cup, where we had a really good run of it. And obviously sail in Musto kit with British Sailing, and a Musto ambassador. There, I think I've nailed everything there off the top. How are you, mate? How is your?
Legend is an overused term for a start.
Oh,
Thank
I don't
you,
know,
mate. I
mate.
appreciate
Anyone
that.
who sails a laser for more than 5 years, and
needs to
kind of
get
hikes out the side of one of those things, I think has to be given that status. To be honest, how many years have you been chipping away in a laser?
Well, I was first in a laser in 2008. If it was a 4.7,
right,
which is a while now.
A 4 point. That's the tiny little ditty rig.
Yeah, I struggle to sail the boat without some pills, which is, I don't know,
Really?
some painkillers.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, and maybe more commonly known around here actually for crashing race boats. I'm treating it like a dinghy rather than a laser sailing, but that's all fine.
What was the last boat you crashed?
We had a little tap today.
Did you actually?
Oh, we did, yeah.
Was it stanchion?
Stanchion's gone.
Yeah, it's a little stanchion gone, yeah, nice.
Right, okay, pause right there. What are you doing in Cows Week, bud? Like, you can't throw straight into a crash. You're here racing Kit 31s.
I'm learning, yeah. Team Bullet, brilliant team. So, Julian Metherall handed the keys to kind of help charge his program up this year, and we've been making some good inroads and a couple of second places at recent round events, and we won yesterday's Queen's Cup, I think, in the first RC race.
That's a good one. So you'll get to dress all posh and go up to the squadron and
something like that.
Yeah,
but it's good, rewardable program that we can put the time, effort, energy in, and it's loving it. Yeah.
Sailing with other people, so you actually have to talk to people other than have a conversation in your head like your laser.
Yeah, the irony of it is that that is the bit I enjoy the most. Yeah.
You wasted in a laser then, aren't you? Let's be honest. You're a sociable
Can't afford the other boat's threads.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, listen to it. And Dills, how about you, mate? You're here having a pint in the Musto Crew Bar, I saw earlier, having a bit of a decompress from a mad last month, I guess.
Yeah, so we've just moved back to the UK from Barcelona after the wild adventure that was. So yeah, it's fantastic to be back here in Cows and seeing a lot of mates and getting back into it.
And signed up as a Musto ambassador last month. I saw that.
Yeah, Musto ambassador, was out at the Moth Worlds and pushing, doing, not quite the results I wanted, but trying hard at least.
Right, I've got to ask you, like, I mean, I think you are actually the most competitive man I know. We filmed some stuff up in London, a game where you were trying to get out an aeroplane seat and you were pushing Hannah Mills all over the place trying to win that event. Moth Worlds was tricky, right? We were just talking about it. You kind of showed up at the end of April and you're like, oh, okay, got a bit going on here. How was that in Gardabud?
Yeah, so the level's incredible at the Moth, and the boats have got about, I think it's like 30% faster since the last Garda Worlds.
My goodness.
And obviously I was focusing a lot on the Cup and then SailGP, so kind of behind the curve a bit, and knew that was going to be the case. But we pushed really hard, and yeah, as you say, I kind of knew a few months before that I was going to probably be off the pace, just by how much I wasn't really sure, and it ended up a little more than I'd like, but so much of the use around the Moth sailing is the learning.
Right.
And there's a lot of learning on the development that hopefully will have an impact for the America's Cup, and hopefully a lot of the skills around the starting, maybe hopefully paid off, because we had a good event in Portsmouth. So probably helped.
And when you say behind the curve, am I right in saying there's rumours flying around that there's obviously an incredible young Kiwi generation coming through at the moment? As we've seen the last two Worlds, those guys sailing at the front of the fleet. Is it true that they're sailing like Moths full times, close to 200 days a year? Is that for real?
Yeah, there's a bunch of people sailing them to a level pretty similar to Olympic campaigns level, like full coaches, 200 days a year, like spending a lot of money on the development, and fair play to them. There's a lot of opportunities from the Moth sailing, but we've really seen how good they are, and the level will just be pushed that bit higher. I mean, I think you've also got the likes of Tommy, who came, I think he finished second in the end, and he was probably getting pretty close to that top step, maybe given a bit more time. I know he had a knee injury, maybe that would have put him a bit further up if he hadn't have got that. But yeah, it's impressive to see these young guys just working really hard and pushing really hard. And actually there's also a bunch of young girls who are also sailing the boat like near full time, and it's impressive to see.
Hattie Rogers, right?
Hattie Rogers. Yeah. She was second in the Women's World Championship. It was very impressive to see.
Yeah.
As a spectator, it's pretty cool actually to see all these guys come back and do that.
Right.
If you, I mean, I
would you call it like it's not grassroots, but
no, but you think these guys have got the seats that all those young kids want, right?
Yeah, okay, yeah.
That is, and to go out and go, actually, no, I'm going to go and do the Moth Worlds, and
because you love it. You love it
because it's great racing.
Yeah,
right.
And
it'd have been so easy, I think, for everyone to just go, oh no, I'm not gonna.
Yeah.
The new guys that have done 200, 300 days or whatever, and have got X, Y, Z pieces of kit. As a spectator for that event, I thought it was awesome.
And you ever done it? You've ever been a Moth guy?
I've never been a Moth guy.
You've spent all of your money on laser sales over the last.
No, I haven't. No, I've clearly not earned enough. I've done a bit of switch sailing and my foiling sailing. Well, actually, as you didn't know, I did the Youth America's Cup.
That's
back
right.
in Bermuda. Yeah. So
winning tactician at the Youth America's Cup.
Yeah, tactician wing trimmer. Yeah,
there you go.
That was good fun, but not.
You
not
loved
much
that boat, didn't you, Freddie?
The AC45F. Do you agree?
I do agree. Yeah. Loved your post on that. Yeah.
AC45F for me. It was that perfect sweet spot of foiling and boat handling and not cycling on a boat.
Is that there's quite a lot of rope pulling, right?
Rope pulling, winches, winch handles, code zeros going up and down.
Yeah.
It was good action.
You still got the guests on there, didn't you?
Yeah, still got the guests on the back.
Who was the best guest then you ever had on the back of the...
We had the Hulk. We had I completely forget his name. He was the Hulk. And we had one of the Hemsworth brothers on there. He was dashingly good looking and charming. Actually,
bit of royalty on the boat.
We have had. Oh, great shout, mate. Yeah. Good. Yes, we had Princess Catherine on the boat one day, and she was an amazing sailor actually. Yeah, better than CJ. Yeah, no, she was really good. Oh, shots fired. And mate, so Dylan last month was Moth sailing, then went to the Portsmouth event. And we'll get onto that. But am I right in saying you were out in winning a World Cup event in the Games venue?
Yeah. Myself and teammate Mickey Beckett, who was the Marseille or Paris Olympic rep.
Yeah.
We were tied on points, and I nipped it on countback in the last race on the last day.
Now you say that you love following Dills and all the Moth guys. Well, my favourite thing to follow is you and Mickey. I love that, man. That is just wild for a man who waves the Union Jack and is very proud of our sailing nation to have two of the best sailing laser sailors in the world going the biff over the last 10 years. It's fun to watch.
Yeah, and it was an interesting start. You know, I took a bit of time off when he won the trials for Paris, and it was an interesting decision coming back. But honestly, part of the reason I did was the enjoyment and excitement of the head-to-head battle.
Right.
If that makes sense. You know, that was one of many reasons I thought. Just pushing each other, I think, is in terms of trying to improve yourself personally as a sailor and dig deeper. I thought,
And you guys are mates, aren't you? And training partners, and you've swapped the Olympic spot for the last 2 cycles, and you're both going for the next one, and you train together and work together.
That's right. Yeah.
I take my hat off to
Neil
that.
Hunter there, waving.
There you go.
Doing his worst.
We did say that we would have some good roosters walking down Cowes High Street.
Yeah, we are. We're good mates. We've sailed together since we were 12, 13 years old.
Is that right?
Yeah, we're a year apart in age. I'm a year older. I was his training partner. Hopped in a coach boat a little bit to an extent for the Marseille lead up, and he was my training partner for Tokyo. And
wow,
yeah, you know, we sort of just head down. We spend a lot of days a year together.
Yeah,
so you won't see us hanging out a huge amount, you know, when we don't have to, just because we're forced to so much of the time. But you know, he's a laser sailor. We're all kind of cut from a reasonably similar cloth.
And you with your Olympic journey right now, that would have been like Dills for you, for example. You crossed the finishing line, having got your gold medal, had a little think about going again, but ultimately pulled the handbrake on. After the Tokyo stuff and then not qualifying for Paris, were you always going to come back into this cycle?
No, not always. No,
right.
Tough decision.
Right.
You know, as you get a bit older and you're a bit more prudent with your years and how you're spending them. I say older, I'm 31, but it's... There's other things you want to go and do, and you're mindful of that. But yeah, certainly take a big chunk of time to think about that. And yeah, one of the big reasons, Tokyo was a disappointment for me in the end.
But you had that race. I remember that race. The race before the medal race, you were going really well, like top 5, top 6, and you got the second yellow flag, right? And that was it.
Second yellow flag, upwinds, yeah.
That's tough to come back from, brother.
Yeah, fine margins. Yeah.
Sorry to bring it up, by the way.
Say that's savage.
Yeah, sorry, but
just bring up a really happy memory.
I actually think it's more credit to you to be sat here today, having just won a World Cup event in the Olympic venue and chipping. Yeah. Still hiking a laser. Love that.
And you know, when I went out to Marseille, actually, I was out there supporting my girlfriend Veets, who was 470 sailing with Twiggy.
Right, yeah.
And I was on the wall a few days, and that was hard.
Yeah,
that was hard.
Yeah,
you're watching the boats come in every day. I'd medalled a few times before in that, quite a few times in that cycle, and you're looking at that was tough. Tough. So that was a bit of a moment for sure as well. And I was doing more and more yacht sailing here in Cowes. And, you know, it was probably this time last year, Cowes Week.
Right.
With Julian on Team Bullet, and he goes, "What are you doing? Why don't you get back in a laser?"
Really?
Yeah, caught me off guard slightly. I was like, "Hang on, we've got 5 minutes to go, Julian."
Is that right?
Yeah, and he did, and you know, I was obviously having an iron about it a lot. And the week after, I went out to Marseille, had that moment.
Yeah.
So you know, I'm my career's going in a sailing direction anyway. Yeah. I'm going to do a laser campaign whilst I physically still can.
Before your knees go like the rest of us. Mate, well, I take my hat off, and I must apologise for bringing up the Tokyo stuff. Like that was tough to watch because you were leading up to that. You were European champion, always in the top 5 of the world. Yada yada yada.
Yeah, I was in the mix for sure. I was in the mix, probably a little bit young and inexperienced versus some of the older guys. We had some legends, and we always do. You know, I think Robert Scheidt still finished 4th at that game.
That is mad.
We had Matt Wern, who ultimately won.
That's right. Those Aussies, eh?
Yeah.
Those Aussies in the labour.
Yeah.
Just make between you and Mickey this year, whoever gets the privilege to represent the country, just don't let the Aussies win that one, all right?
Yeah, that's the plan, mate. Yeah.
All right. Look at him.
Blackburn, eh? He's done a good job there.
Yeah, he did. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, really? He's the laser coach for all those Roosters that have won the goals.
Yes.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
I used to go race against him. When I say race against him, he was sailing around at the front and I was having my sandwiches on the downwind. But we were at the same regattas. Let's put it like that. Dills, last month for you, you did the Waths. You came to Portsmouth with SailGP. You ever seen anything like that in your life? I was there as a Howden person and with Musto and all that good stuff. But I was there as a fan. Man, it was like being at a football game. It was unreal, right?
Yeah, it was unreal. I think back to the first season of SailGP and we were in Cowes for the home event. And it was, great for that first season, but just how much it's changed since then, and to have like 10,000 fans each day in the grandstands was just unbelievable.
Holding
and
up big pictures of your face and
oh
stuff.
God, yeah.
Do you see all that nonsense?
Slightly different, yeah. But I think we were just, over the moon to have good weather, have good racing, and put on a good result for the team. And I think that just really showcasing our sport for a bigger fan base is incredible.
Yeah, mate.
What's it look like in 5 years, SailGP?
Good question.
Ask this guy. What do you reckon, bud?
Well, they're saying more teams, more events. It's only going one direction. You talk to all the investors and all the people involved, and they just think it's going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. So yeah, fingers crossed.
You hear all
Hang
these,
on.
Yeah, exactly. You hear all these murmurings, like unconfirmed murmurings that they're trying to build a ship to take them all everywhere, and like you say, more teams for next year potentially. Like the thing is, it's flying. Did you go? Were you away, or did you pick up on any of it?
I was there for a day. Yeah, spectacular. Yeah, mega.
Wasn't it?
Yeah. What do you think? What does it mean for the cup? For the America's Cup?
You cheeky monkey.
Go on, Fred.
Yeah, Freddie, you answer this one.
Well, I think SailGP is doing an amazing job, and it fills a space in the sport that we've never been able to fill before, with Larry backing it and making such a good TV product and such a good racing product, that none of us are going to die going, oh, it's such a shame that we didn't have a lot of money to make sailing everything it can be, because right now SailGP is everything amazing that sailing can be, not just to sailors, but to call them generic sport fans. What does it mean for the Cup? I think obviously we're in this state of flux with the Cup right now, but it will hopefully, Dills, we might ask you, but it will sort itself out eventually. The Cup always does, but they'll have to get it pretty right. They'll have to, whoever it looks like, the challengers and obviously Team New Zealand, they'll have to get it pretty right, because what is going on in SailGP is really impressive. I think that's how I feel about it, and I also think there's a space in our sport for the two of them to coexist hopefully pretty healthily together. That's what you would hope for. But I love it. I think SailGP is an unbelievable sport event that, as Dill said, is growing exponentially, really, isn't it? Event by event. Mate, and how has, obviously you finished second. You had the most ridiculously good first day, didn't you? Did you go 1, 2, 3, 2?
Yeah, good first day, yeah.
And then like you had some board hydraulic issue-y stuff going on day 2, but had such good first day, you're always going to be in the final.
Yeah, the second day was a bit hectic, to be honest, in terms of the board. The valve on the port board broke in the first race, cost us a bit, broke again in the second race, cost us quite a bit. Yeah. And then we started the last race about a minute and a half late. So we were obviously quite thankful that we had a good first day. And
just quietly, you finished 5th or 6th in that race. You finished.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought that's just
it was good. We had a good weekend. Yeah. felt like we got our mojo back after 2 poor events in San Fran and New York, and we were back to firing on all cylinders. Obviously disappointed that the Kiwis took the bullet, but that is the jeopardy at times of SailGP, and we know that if we can sail like that for the rest of the season, then we're going to be in good shape. It's really tight for the top 3 is tight. We're 1 point behind in 4th, and it's we had an event wherever in New York where the umpires got the decision wrong against us and the Canadians, they came out and said we got the decision wrong. That was 1 season point. That's the difference between us being in the top 3 or not right now.
What do you reckon old Tom Slingsby saying about the umpire call with you at the bottom gate?
Yeah, there's a few people unhappy about the umpire call.
What were you thinking at that moment, Dill? Now you can tell us.
You didn't see it, right? Something, come on, Dills, give us the lowdown, because there's been...
What was going through your head right at that moment?
Yeah, because there's been a lot of chat, right?
There's been a lot of chat.
Go on.
We were coming... There you go. Right.
Okay. We got a fish on. Here we go.
Play to the whistle,
right,
mate.
Hey, we're not going to talk for the next 20 minutes now. Dills is going to go.
So we obviously thought, here we go. We got a bit of an incident coming up with 2 boats going to be jibing, probably going to be jibing.
Yeah.
So we came down out the jibe and tried to get low. The Aussies were sailing like 120, 125 degrees. I don't know. Anyway, a high angle, basically. And so we couldn't come down too much because they were there. And so then it got to a point where it was like, okay, either it doesn't look like the Aussies have potentially seen the other 2 boats.
Yeah.
And they didn't have their board down. So I was like, well, I don't know how we're going to keep clear at this point by jibing.
Yeah.
Because if they put their board down, if we then, by the time we match, it's all quite late. So I was like, right, well, the only way through here is just to go straight through the middle. But interestingly, a bit boring, but
no, it's not boring.
On the work we've done, if we would have crossed if the Aussies hadn't been there.
Right. Okay.
So it was just one of those things that they, unfortunately, the way the rules written, they're the right of way boat, and they chose to jibe, and they didn't give us room to jibe. So it falls on them, and you obviously feel bad for the Canadians who were the right of way boat in the whole scenario.
Yeah, man.
But
they filled up with water, eh?
Yeah.
Whoa.
But I actually, funnily enough, I had the same, not the exact same, but I had an incident with Nathan Goobs in 2012 in the 49er, which was relatively similar. In that
He's like a sailing almanac, isn't he?
We were on starboard, 2 boats on port. Anyway, Nathan Goobs crossed and didn't get a penalty. And I remember being very upset at that point. But maybe.
Right. So you thought you never jiving.
But the way the rules are in SailGP, your
anticipation is written in.
You do need to anticipate, and we were very, very aware of what was going on, but you're trying to avoid a crash at all costs. And so I kind of took the option where I thought we would avoid an accident. Yeah. And at the end of the day, the umpires make a decision and you have to deal with it. In New York, it went against us. The umpires said it did, and that was a penalty point, and no one's talking about that incident. And, the Aussies could have sailed better the rest of the weekend. They would have been in the final. We had our fair share of issues. So I think they shouldn't be blaming that incident.
And is there a bit of fallout? Like, is there people going, hey buddy, what's going on? Or are there questions of the umpires? How does that work in between events?
Yeah, I think there's some unhappy people and some conversations going on. There's always, I get told a few times, I've been told a few times that Russell's phone gets blows up with messages from people. I am not one of those people. I have my head that I do not.
He blocks you.
He maybe blocked me. Yeah.
He's like, Dylan Fletcher.
Not again.
Not interested in that.
I don't play that game.
How do you cite yourself? So Olympic formats are changing to more on emphasis last race, last day. So you guys now go into your final race for every event, winner takes, and grand final, winner takes. You strike me as someone who's instinctive and just instinctive decisions, go with what you see. Are you quite methodical? Are you a match racer, have it all planned out where you want to be every second for every start? Or fleet racing, it's all too hectic to plan a huge amount, I'd have thought. It's all quite instinctive. But 3 boats in a final?
Yeah, we come up with a plan in fleet racing for the start, and then definitely change approach for that final race and go relatively aggressive. Like definitely up the risk quite significantly for that last race. But I do think it's a massive challenge for the Olympic world in what I know there's no certainty, or maybe there is certainty, I'm not sure of the format, but it's challenging. And I think at least in SailGP we've got multiple events out a year, but I think what's so tough for you is you saw what happened with certain people in Marseille and investing so many years of your life for a winner takes all last races. Maybe the old-fashioned person in me thinks that's not quite what Olympic sailing is. But
how do you feel about it, bud?
It's interesting because I started Olympic sailing, medal racing was already a thing, really.
Okay.
But the old boys then thought, what a load of rubbish.
Yeah.
And it's going more and more that way. But I'm a little bit like Dill now. I mean, obviously there's a line to excitement on the final day. If you're now a young person sailing, you might sit there and think, do I want to do 20 years of investment to flip a coin? And
I did not love how Emma Wilson did not win her gold medal. That didn't sit right with me. And I think for the first time in Olympic sailing, I think resonating with your point, I saw a world where I thought that's not right.
Yeah.
They went too far. Does that world look the same rolling into the next?
Yeah, but spreading out maybe across more classes.
What does the laser look like then?
It's up for debate, but anything from winner takes all, last race, top 6 kind of thing, or
I'm not about that.
staying to what it is. You can't. I mean, we're talking one tiny bit of rib wake and job tight. It's too many variables, way too many variables. But
are you like trialing this stuff at various events, or is it just? I feel like you guys should have a voice in this.
You should, of course you should. But naturally we don't.
Yeah, fair enough. But how was LA? How would give us a little
LA
insight into what the venue's going to look like?
It's going to be a good venue.
Okay, that's good news.
Quote me on that.
Not like Qingdao where you've just had your worlds.
Qingdao, no.
You were looking skinny before then.
Yeah.
You still look pretty skinny, actually.
Yeah, it's amazing how unpredictable.
Freddie, you're slightly, you're slightly bigger than you were in Barca.
Yeah, it's kind.
Go on, mate. Let's try that again. Go on.
Still looking good.
Qingdao. Quite why you go back to that place. Many of the coaches actually were competitors from the Qingdao games. We shouldn't be here. This is going to be a shocker.
And they were right.
And they were absolutely right. Yeah.
But LA, give us an insight.
LA is going to be good. Yeah. Light to late teens, I would say. Depending on your start time is what sort of racing you're going to have. But I think you're going to have anywhere from 6 to 18 knots and some nice waves at times. And
Kelpie?
I think you'll sail pretty much every day. I don't think you'll miss many days, which is great. Yeah.
Which is unlike Marseille. That was frustrating for everyone involved and spectators.
Even spectating.
Yeah, it was tough.
Bit of a right-hand track?
Yeah, a bit. But, interestingly, you're on an 8 to 12 minute beat, say, and it goes right, but as it does so, it's flicking around. So at times, you've boat end tack and it all lifts up and you're 20th round the windward mark. Oh, sorry, you don't get 20 votes in your face.
Hey!
Are you similar race area to where the SailGP was? Is it?
Yeah,
similar?
so it's going to be a split venue, only 5 miles, sort of same sort of stretch of water, really. The boards are going to be Long Beach. And the boats are going to be up at the SailGP venue in the port of LA.
That was a good venue, right? You liked it? Thought it was all right?
Yeah, it was good. I think they're all racing outside and we raced inside.
They're not going to do something stupid like put a medal course in that port area where these...
Yeah, you're going to do something pretty stupid.
Mind the kelp and seawall.
Yeah. That's right.
It was a good venue, though. For the SailGP, it was a good venue.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, we will see. And you will obviously... The remainder of this year is, as you said, a slightly sticky Worlds in...
Euros.
Your Euros on Monday, right? Finish here and then...
I've got a Euro starting a week tomorrow.
Right. But you're here in Cowes.
I'm here in Cowes.
So how does that work? You're trying to go to the Olympics. You're one of the best laser sailors in the world. How do you balance having great racing and great fun here in Cowes Week and keeping your laser high performance head on?
Yeah.
Do they marry up with each other or not?
At times. Keep a lid on the fun. Is first answer to that question. But so you'd never choose to be in Cowes Week for a major event. Point one.
Yeah.
I'm here, and because I wasn't planning on doing the Euros originally. The Worlds, as you said, Qingdao was a bit flaky. We missed a lot of racing, and I thought, well, actually, so for me, it's my laser comeback year, and I thought there's things I want to try and practice. Yeah. I'm now not going to race properly until Palma in April next year. So
after the Euros.
Yeah, which is a long time. Man. So actually, even though I'm underprepared, I thought it's a big opportunity to miss. So I'll be trying to turn up and
You never know, mate. The Cape 31 Cowes Week battles might be the perfect thing to sharpen you up. I mean, I can't imagine there's too much correlation, but Did you manage to keep your because Cape 31 is such a great class, isn't it? You've done a bit of Cape 31 tactics as well. You have the professionals mixing with majority younger amateur crew who are upskilling and learning off good roosters like you guys. But did you manage to keep them out of the Musto opening party last night or not?
Just found out what time they might have got home, so potentially
Really?
not. So it's punishment. We're going training tomorrow.
Are you
morning.
actually? So as we said at the top of the pod, it's forecast. It's one of those storms that's got a name, I think, which is
it?
yeah, I think
really?
so. I think we're in Namey storm. So there's no racing tomorrow. So like as I said, Cowes High Street is a buzz with people walking up and down with pints of beer, which is lovely to see. It's one of the reasons we always love coming back to Cowes Week. But you're taking your crew out off the dock early for a bit of a blast.
Yeah, as I said, Julian handed me the keys, which means
I love
now
that.
I get to make the
Classic laser sailor.
I
isn't
love
it?
that. Yeah.
make the calls. And honestly, it's it makes it so much more enjoyable for the progression of a team.
Yeah,
and,
okay.
and for me personally, big boat sailing.
Yeah.
I speaking aloud here, I don't enjoy the mercenary work of turning up for a program for a few days.
You
or
want to be
one
all
event,
in.
or I want to do a campaign.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
It's the enjoyment for me of the campaign that I don't care where we start.
Yeah.
I care the progression, and for me that's the enjoyment, and hopefully you can get some results by the end of it.
And I'm right in saying keeping an eye on the Cape 31s because there's some really talented British sailors in there. You've become a bit of an expert in sailing with a few different teams that aren't necessarily sailing to their full potential and getting them at the right end of the leaderboard, right? You're getting good at that.
Yeah, possibly, or losing my job. It depends.
Oh no!
Sounds like you're still on that learning curve. There's a bit of. I see an awful lot of people good at job protection.
Yeah, that's not me. If
It wasn't me either.
I can be fired any day. I don't mind. But yes and no. Not through choice necessarily, but maybe there's been a bit of correlation with that. As I said, I love helping teams, and I've done that a couple of times now, and for me it's one of the most rewarding things, kind of building a team as well. The tactician role typically falls into a bit of that, and trying to get the best out of someone and running proper debriefs and helping the owner. It's seeing, I think, everyone on board, pro or amateur or owner, as an equal member on the team, and say, no, you're not that. You're a helm, you're a trimmer, you're a bowman, it's like, how can you do your job better? But equally opening the floor, go, by the way, I made X, Y, and Z mistakes today, and
you put your hand up for all that.
Yeah. Typically, before anyone else does, because otherwise they'll call you out anyway.
Yeah, too right. That's very good. And Dills, Cowes Weeks for you. I've seen you down at the dock over the years. You've a regular visitor to Cowes with the Capes back in the day, I remember. But again, you were juggling it with other sailing, Olympic sailing back then, wasn't it? But it is quite a fun venue to come to, and kind of brings British sailing together, which has been incredible over the last month with SailGP, and then watching the Admiral's Cup light up in the last week with the Fastnet finish that was incredible. There's a real buzz down here in the marina right now, and it's kind of typical of a fun Cowes Week, right?
Yeah, I think just arriving today and seeing a bunch of amazing race yachts is something that, we've seen Capes and the like, but to see all the sort of the 52s and some really nice 40s and all of that from the Admiral's Cup, I think is great to see that, and to see all those yachts out on the water racing again. Fun memories of Cowes Week, but we need to get not racing this year. Maybe in the future.
How do you reckon you go? Because you now live at 40 knots. Let's be honest. Like, how do you reckon you'd go, getting back into like a proper sniggly lineup to win the pin end off the squadron start and early tax, and basically living at 7 knots rather than 47 knots? How do you reckon you'd go with all that?
I'm not sure how I'd go, but I'd definitely get stuck in, and
There's no doubt.
and I'd enjoy it,
There's no doubt.
So
just don't get stuck into the port ley line, mate. That's my advice.
I generally
Is that
try
where you were
to.
today? So what?
No, it wasn't today.
What was your little
I've done
collision
it
today
once or
then, bud?
twice.
What was going on?
The collision today was with our friend Mr. Saxon.
Oh, right. Okay.
And, sailing on
Who
board
was in the
Kilios.
wrong? Just my.
We were. Yeah.
Oh, copy.
Oh, I see. Puts
And we
his hand
did
up.
and we did a penalty.
Oh wow.
Oh, you love that.
They had room, and I thought we were just going to surf across their bow. So we shut the door. Sadly, their foot was still very much in the door.
Right. One of those ones.
And took the stanchion off with a pole. That didn't take it off fully, so
Just love tap.
yeah, a little, yeah. expense.
And how many? I mean, you guys are young, aren't you? Let's be honest. How many cows weeks have you been? I've seen you around doing the cows. You've done etcheling as well, or
I've not done actuals cows week.
Right.
I've done actual sailing.
Right.
Yeah, I've probably done 3 or 4 cows weeks.
Okay.
How many have you done, Freddie?
Still
I've done a lot. I did my first cows week in 1990, which was last century, 1997, and I just love it. And as I said, I'm so happy to see the Admiral's Cup back in cows in the Solent again. That's incredible. But I was reading today that there's 5,000 sailors here this week, which is unbelievable. A lot of them, as I've seen down there, are wearing Emirates kit, British sailing kit, like America's Cup kit. There is a buzz around British sailing, which I love. There's 500 boats sailing, close to 500 boats sailing this week, and they're expecting 60,000 people to come and enjoy the seafront. So I'm all about it. And it's for sure a cornerstone, I think, for any British sailor who wants to do Olympic stuff or get to the top end of the foiling world. You've got to be able to come and cut it in cows week and short tack up the green and as you say, kind of mix it with all the rules and go out sailing in an X boat with 40 other boats. Like that's kind of, I love that. Yeah, I love all that.
The celebration of sport cows week,
yes.
I think is, Ross on our boat today, 49er sailed a Ross horse.
Yeah, that's right.
Celebration, in my first cows week, I didn't quite get it, but I was coming in I was a dinghy sailor, I was going round the cows. What is this? Just follow the leader and like that. But it wasn't, and you're growing into it now. But for me personally, one of the things I love is racing against the older guys. Yeah, and the amount you learn off the older guys. Yeah, and obviously, as you'd expect, but you see the way they operate and you see the way they run a team. You chat to them. Some are friendlier than others, fine. But I personally love that. There's no sports really, other ones I can think of where you can get that, where you could still, kick a ball around with David Beckham or whatever, and he's out for it. But that's the bit I love.
Well, on that note, I'm sailing on Gladiator this week, and we're taking Mickey out sailing with us. He hasn't done like a massive amount of big boat stuff, I don't think. No. We're going to chuck him on the aft handles with some of our big grinders and
pull his shoulder out, ready for the Europeans.
I could actually do a little number on him if you want, mate. I could click them out the string drop halfway through and see how his shoulders go. Yeah. They're turned to dust with the grinders we've got on that thing, which I'm not a part of anymore. I just open the jammers. I'm all about that.
You're a professional easer now.
I'm a professional, yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm just there for the good times, open some jammers, load up winches the wrong way around, all that good stuff. Dill, for you, you're about to hit like the proper European section of SailGP. It's about to come at you pretty thick and fast, isn't it, with 4 European events in the next couple of months?
Yeah.
Wow, that's going to go a long way to sorting out the final in Abu Dhabi in November, right?
Yeah, past halfway now. So we're going to Sassnitz next in Germany. I've never sailed there, so kind of sailed in Kiel, so hoping it's kind of similar to that. Right. And then we got Geneva and Saint-Tropez and Cadiz. Geneva's obviously going to be interesting, see if there's any wind. I mean, promising wind, but that's, it will be amazing if there is. But I know it's obviously a huge event for SailGP, commercially and everything. But yeah, it feels like it's incredibly close at the moment with that top 4. Yeah. And not many events left really to make sure that we make it to that final. Yeah.
And I've got to ask, because there'll be so many British sailing fans who followed us last summer. Cup Worlds, you just got to throw a bit of a shrug, and it's up in the air right now. There's plenty going on, but let's see how the dust settles, right?
Yeah, I think all of us are, I don't know, like hopeful, I guess is the right way of putting it. And maybe there's some quiet confidence that it will get sorted out. Certainly, I feel like I've got, unfinished business there, and really want to try and go and finally win the cup for Great Britain and bring that trophy into the squadron. That's what it's all about.
You're right, brother. I'm all about that. And Elliot, you having been involved with this British Cup syndicate as a nipper in 2017, when you finally hang up your hiking shorts, what does that look like for you? Do you want to? Obviously, you're making a great name for yourself within Grand Prix yachting, which is fantastic. But does the cup and that side of things? Do you hold a candle for that?
100%. Yeah. There's nobody I know I know personally that would say no to a job in the Cup or SailGP, and I think if they said no, they'd be lying.
Yeah, no,
I think they'd be lying. So yes, but at the time being, there's Dill would have ideas about pathways into the Cup. He'd probably swing towards moth sailing. I'd say a gold medal probably got him there long before.
No, you definitely
long
gold
before
medal,
his moth sailing did.
Okay, that's interesting.
But yeah, big time. But it's such a volatile world, as you've probably seen, from going handles to legs and you do not know where the thing's going.
No.
We might end up in a world where it's Lewis Hamilton in his cockpit and a team of 100 designers and no one else. You
can see that. Yeah.
Yeah, if I got a phone call, phone's open.
You got his number.
I love watching my mates compete on those circuits at the minute.
Yeah.
But I'm not hell bent on curving my life off in one direction or the other. I just enjoy seeing. I enjoy my laser sailing. I enjoy my Olympic sailing. I love my yachting here, and and if things open up in the future, then who knows?
You've kind of already alluded to it, and I completely agree with your statement that if you show the mindset to go and get a gold medal in a classes like you guys battle away, and then I think that's all you need.
Well, yes and no. I mean, Devils, Tom Burton, laser gold medalist.
Yeah, okay.
Matt Wern, 2-time laser gold medalist now.
Yeah.
And it's still Tom Slingsby, who's and rightly so, but is at the wheel, and you think, well, where's the space? Where do they go? That's the ultimate question. And they'd love to do it, but you can't have 3 laser sailors on a boat.
No, not enough toe straps for a start.
Yeah.
I think that is hard, and I think we've seen it in different countries, people being at the top and holding on to that seat. And I think that I guess when I retired after Tokyo, I went, right, well, I want that. I want to try and go and drive, go and helm. You just don't know if you're going to get it, and it's the same. But it's the same drive, and I was like, firstly, you need to go and win a gold medal, and then it's like, now you've got to try and do all this other stuff, and that may or may not result in the outcome. But it's, for me, it was the same. It's the same as your Olympic campaign, the same mindset, and that drive and determination, and it's the same. It's all the same at the end of the day. But it is hard. I think it is brutally hard.
And that wasn't. Everyone just assumes that was fairly straightforward for you, Dills, don't you? You go and win an Olympic gold medal in Tokyo, and then your phone rings. But that's not the case, is it? As we know, as we spoke a lot during that time, it's not an easy path, is it, at all, to have the year you've just had?
No, absolutely not. No, I definitely expected, having won a gold medal, that you'd get a few phone calls, but it was pretty quiet. It's not, you have to go and put the groundwork. And definitely, you were definitely very instrumental in helping me get involved and giving me the advice on.
Actually, your talent and just a bit of my chat, but that's very kind.
Yeah, but there's a lot of politics to understand, and what to do and how to do it. And for me, going and fitting in within a team of 200 was something I had to learn very quickly. It's quite different. SailGP was a big learning curve of 15, but it's quite a change from basically two people in a 49 and 3 with your coach, and that's your team. Although you're part of a bigger British sailing team, I'm sure I know the same. Although you have the British sailing team, you really feel like you're just you're your own little company that operate to win a gold medal.
Yeah.
But that definitely changes when you get to the Olympics and you do feel part of a bigger team.
Right.
But it is still quite different. I certainly have very fond memories of Tokyo and the team. I know it was difficult for Els, but he was still made a difference to this whole team environment. And even when everything was going on, it was really positive with everything.
Hey, that's class. And we were talking earlier about how the cup switches off and it's hard. And you were saying that when the Olympics switched off for you, it's tricky, eh? And I'm sure Dilgy found the same. Like that, it just turns off overnight.
Yeah. Well, I think it's a life thing, isn't it? If there's an end point to sport, there's an end point as a World Cup final, footballer, Olympic gold medal, America's Cup. If you're a doctor, there's always another life to save, and it's it's ongoing. So that's probably a crude comparison, but it's really tough. It's not in the brochure either.
No,
and maybe we've all become softies. I don't know, but and maybe that's why people keep going back.
Yeah.
As well. another cup, another Olympic cycle, another, maybe it's addictive. I think it's addictive.
I completely agree, but I also resonate that we're in such a great sport, and you've both referenced this already. You come and do Cows Week, and you're racing against like the Andy Beadsworth or the Jules Salters of the Solent, who have been here racing since the 80s. And I think let's not lose sight of the fact that this is such a fantastic sport where we are lucky that we can sail against the best people at the top end for a long time to come. We'll be back here in Cows Week 2040, swinging the lantern, talking about when Dills was sailing round at... You'll probably still be doing laser campaigns then, actually. How do you reckon the knees will be going then, brother?
Won't keep me going, no.
Hey, boys, I think we might put a pin in it there. We've been rabbiting on for a while. Thank you so much for coming into the Musto shop as ambassadors, and as you, Elliot, wearing the kit out every day when you're in your laser. Really insightful, honest chat about kind of what you're up to, where you're going. As, like I said, you don't like the word legend, but two of the most prominent people within British sailing to speak so openly, I think is class. So I appreciate your time. Dylan, all the best for the end of season 5 SailGP and everything that hopefully the America's Cup brings your way. And Elliot, mate, go well in the laser. Absolutely brilliant watching you and Mickey go the biff, two fantastic British sailors. I love following that battle, and as we learnt, you guys are proper good teammates as well. I take my hat off to both of you guys. And if you're in Cows, I'm sure a lot of you will be in Cows this week for this amazing Cows Week racing. Do swing by this Musto store. It's proper fancy. It's got some really nice kit at it, and follow Musto on all of their socials at Musto Clothing. And I'm sure we'll see a lot of you out on the water this week.